Well, the time is running, so we are going to start. Thank you very much for everyone to be here to share this time with us. It's a real pleasure for us to be here. And well, I'm going to present myself. First, I'm going to moderate this awesome table with people with so many years of experience, even though they are very young, you can see. I'm Eduvigis Ortiz. Edu is fine. I'm the founder and president of Women for Cyber Spain, part of the Women for Cyber Foundation, who was launched from the European Cybersecurity Organization, looking at the rates of women participating in the cybersecurity world. So we can look at that situation every day when we are a minority in our jobs. So what we do is to promote and onboard women on cybersecurity in a specific and in technology in general, because we need to access all the talent available for the sector. As you know, there is a lot of work, a lot of opportunities in this field, so we need to onboard also women. Now I would like to introduce Maria de Dios, who has been, well, a great friend and a great professional. Thank you, Maria, for being here. Maria de Dios, she is the director at global level of cyber resilience and risk in Amadeus Group. And later she's going to share with us also the experience she has, so she can add to this conversation we have today about what the executive committee and the boards need to know about cybersecurity and how they have to instill the cybersecurity culture in the organization. Then we have Olga Forné. She is the ambassador of Women for Cyber Spain in Catalonia. Thank you, Olga. And also she's part of our board. And last but not least, the global CISO for Abertis. Thank you, Olga, for being here. And then here we have Toni García. Thank you, Toni, for your time. And he's the CIO, the CISO, the transformation director. Wow, he has so many roles in his company that is very interesting, because he has a global view of what is going on in Pharma LETI group. I said it right. So thank you very much for being here. And now I would like my colleagues to share with you the experiences they have in their current roles and how they relate to the cybersecurity conversation that we have today here. Maria?
Well, first of all, good morning, and thank you everyone for attending this. I know it's a bit early for some. And what Edu said, I actually like to talk about cyber resilience, because I think cybersecurity implies many things, but cyber resilience implies, on top of that, the proactive part and the way to protect the organizations. So actually, this is one of the best practices and one of the things that I would like to share with you. When we started in Amadeus our resilience program in 2016, we were one of the few who started talking about resilience, and we call it FIBER, Integrated Business Framework for Resilience. So actually there we saw, and at the beginning I was not responsible necessarily for all the cybersecurity, but we saw we needed to develop a common framework for all the resilience at the company level, and that included obviously security and cybersecurity as one of them. I don't know if you know Amadeus, but it's a technological company that actually provides services to the travel industry. So it's very important, obviously, and security is one of the topics. We also realized, and I'm going to focus a little bit on the crisis part, because we realized that actually it couldn't be only developing something that traditionally was called business continuity or disaster recovery. That was, the keywords at the time. But we needed to integrate pretty much cybersecurity as part of the whole resilience and crisis framework as well, because that is, I think that has been a lesson we have learned that has been extremely helpful during the crisis we had. On top of that, I think we all have very present, obviously, the COVID crisis we experienced. So I think it was very important to develop what we had in place to manage the crisis. And that way we allowed the executive committee to focus on, particularly in Amadeus, on the financial crisis, which affected tremendously. So why, with that crisis, I think as well, we realized that the board was suddenly very interested in us as a business unit. Maybe we were a bit transparent. I mean, we were doing a lot, especially in my team, we were doing a tremendous job, but maybe it was not so recognizable. And I think the crisis, if it helps us, of course, to be prepared and to do the crisis or to overcome the crisis in a better way, but also to give that visibility to maybe something that it doesn't have that visibility until that time, no? So I don't want to spend, I think we'll have more debate and more ideas, but I just wanted to say that I think the executive committee or the executives and the board have different roles in all this. And I think it's important to also give that visibility to the right level and what is expected. So you have to ask them. First of all, you have to ask them what is interested. And we were talking just before, and also it's true that they have to be a bit more proactive, a bit more interested. But I think the fact is that right now, with all the cases on ransomware, with everything that is in the news continuously, we know it's a question of when is it going to impact a company, not if it's going to impact a company. So my recommendation, just be prepared, make sure that you have the visibility you need to the higher levels, and especially the board, and making sure also you explain what you do in a very easy language that can be understood.
That's true, because sometimes we are at different levels, no? We need to demystify cybersecurity. We need to transmit and to make not only the boards and the executives to understand what we are doing, also the whole organization, so we can be, each one of us, as we said, the first firewall for any cyber attack. So Olga, what is your background first, please?
Well, I came from 2 advisory companies, 2 Big Fours, as an IT risk and security, information security advisor, and also auditor. And after that, I joined a group, a media group, and I was there the CISO, and after that, the global CISO. And after 7 years being in that company, I changed. I jumped to another bigger company that it's now Abertis Group. And the main difference between both companies and why I have chosen to change and to take this step, because after 7 years in that company with that project, it was like a really, really tough decision. But there it was a company with subsidiaries, so all the decisions for information security were decided in headquarters. And all the leading and all the implementations were led from headquarters. And that is a little bit easier, in my case, in my experience, than being in a company like the Abertis Group. Abertis Group is a groups of companies. So it's not like subsidiaries. They are independent. So you have like a information security strategy from the group in a group's level, and after that you have to translate it to the other companies, to the other groups, and decide which kind of decisions in a group levels can be implemented directly or which ones cannot. So, and also it's a bigger company. The maturity level in information security is higher. So they have like, well, we have like teams that are really well prepared. In MediaPro, we had a small team that we had lots of things to do. But here I have like much people and much investment, and the top management is also involved, and the middle management. So yeah,
Wow.
that's the main difference.
That's great. Even though
Yeah.
it's a big challenge, Olga,
Yeah.
we can see that now you have to strengthen your skills of negotiation,
Yeah.
and also you need to convince the
Yeah.
executives
Yeah.
of the other subsidiaries or independent companies to onboard them to the strategy.
And actually, it's a collaboration because we have CISOs in each of these companies. So there is a coordination, a collaboration. So I am not leading all the information security strategy. So they are also leading the strategy, and also the people in their own teams, they are leading that. So yeah.
Such a big
Yeah.
challenge, as you can
Yeah.
see. So Toni, what is your experience? And well, as we said before, you have a lot of roles, and well, what you can share with us about that?
Well, my experience, I only have 15 years of experience in cybersecurity, and I have working in a lot of different companies, service companies, big fours, and other companies of services. And at the end of this moment, I moved to the final companies. I work in them, and now I am working in LETI Pharma. Probably this position that I am doing in LETI Pharma is very difficult because I have a lot of roles that you explain, but I like to explain that it's probably one of the few companies that the CIO reports to the CISO, because, well, it's true that it's the same person, but the role of cybersecurity, it's the most important in the company. And for the reason I can deploy the concept of security by design and by default, fulfill it. And it's true that it's a good challenge. And it's another challenge that I am on the board, and it's I need to explain this kind of problems every day. And it's true that these companies have a lot of things that are very important, the investments, the incomes. But now the topic of cybersecurity is one point that the people talk in the board.
Yeah, I can bet. As you can see, each company, each sector has their own challenges. But what is true is that the executive and the boards has to be committed to have a good strategy to try to understand what is at stake, why cybersecurity is so important every day more, because as we were discussing, the companies each day are more digital than ever. So at the end, all the devices, all the transactions, everything has to be secure. And as Maria said before, it's a question of time.
Yeah.
So you are always at risk. And that is something that it's a challenge to make people to understand that and to make the right decisions. So I just want you to share the best practices on your experience that you can add so the executive and the boards are more aware of the real challenge we are facing every day. Maria?
So I think one of them I mentioned as well is not making sure that security or cybersecurity is embedded in the business, no? Not treated as an island, and we know, I mean, there's a lot of expertise needed, obviously, there's a lot of knowledge that is needed, but nevertheless, you know, I think if they feel that that, yeah, is aligned to the business. I think it will be, and that we're just trying to protect the business and not just being awkward and just being difficult. I think it is an advantage and it will help. Another one is communication. I think open and transparent communication, because, of course, especially with the incidents in cybersecurity, we know in many cases they are quite confidential and you cannot give all the information. Nevertheless, what you don't know, you don't understand. You cannot understand and you cannot support so much. So I think that better flow of communication to the board and to the executives is totally important. And the third one is, well, yeah, I think I have embedded in probably in both of them, is just being, yeah, totally transparent, really.
Yeah, yeah, that's important. Yeah, because sometimes people try to, well, to hide or to when you have a problem, and it has to be on the table so everybody can contribute to solve it. And sometimes we are afraid of that because it's a challenge to have your executive, your board, like picking on what is going on. So that's a very good lesson. Thank you, Maria. What about you, Olga?
Well, I agree totally with Maria. First of all, open communication, promoting open communication between the teams and with the management level and the top level management, it's necessary, because when there is an issue, there is people afraid to say that I did something wrong. So you cannot have that in that moment, okay? So first of all, it's promoting open communication at all levels in the company. Also, having this holistic approach, it's not only a matter of IT or OT, it's a matter of business. And you have to include the business, be aligned with them, and having them in this kind of decisions. Also, awareness training. So not just doing your cybersecurity tests in order to prevent phishing and all this stuff that every company is doing at this moment, or almost, or every company should do, but also embedding this information security culture in the minds of all the people and all the professionals in your company. So when there is an issue or there is something that is wrong or that is different, so they perceive it and they can alert you and you can react like quickly, okay? And also giving them tools maybe in order to stop that. It's not just the IT team that has to respond or to take the action maybe. And also monitoring and measuring, that's really, really important. It's not implementing software tools that it fits it and you let it and that's all. No, you have to be there, monitor there, also do mock data breaches tests. That's really, really, really important to test your disaster recovery, your BCPs, your incident response plan, your crisis management, at all levels. It hasn't to be like a full recovery or a full crisis. It can be like doing like a test discussion in a table, okay? But people has to sense this kind of emotions that there is when there is a crisis, because you cannot think properly in a crisis, or there is people that cannot think properly. So yeah, that's also important. And last but not least is agility, promoting agility and adaptability. So the company has to change with the time, and the time, it's not like in 2 years we have to implement that, or we have to be flexible and doing this kind of changes that information security needs in order to stop the breaches. So you have to include it in your day by day as well.
Yeah, well, as you can hear, we have a lot of challenges every day, but what is true is that we need to have also this trust environment for what you said. Olga, is very important that is a person, a user, an employee identify something or make a mistake or
Yeah.
whatever, or just
Everybody
open
makes
an
mistakes.
open an attachment and well, they have the trust to say, well, I did this. Let's see how we can move forward, how we can work together and fix it.
Yeah.
Because that's the important thing. And know when we have the bigger problem, try to fix it. So
Yeah.
that's a very good one. So in your experience, I like a lot what you said, Toni, because cybersecurity by design is something that we are really always pushing for. And I think we are not yet there, but we are working on, we are on track.
Yes. Well, in the same way, the big thing is the culture of cybersecurity in the company. In this way, the cybersecurity by design and by default is a thing that it's correctly and you can do it in every moment. But it's true that it's difficult because it's not the day by day of the people, and we are trying to explain a lot of things that they need to do and need to know. But it's very difficult because it's not their job. And this point, sometimes we talk about that the people, it's probably the problem, and I am trying to see, or I am seeing that we explain a lot of time, implement a lot of systems that cannot block the threats, and think that the people is the problem. Of course, it's a problem. But it's maybe the most important part of the company to protect of these threats. For the reason, I think that the most important thing is the culture, because if the people understand, and then the different levels, and now the management, because it's not easy, because it's not their job to understand this kind of threats. Well, maybe we can change the things, but I feel that now not all the boards understand that, okay, knows that it's important, the cybersecurity in general, but don't feel that it's a very important point. We need to think about is it's true, or it's the best situation that we can have, or we need to improve this situation. I don't know.
Well, maybe in that line, Toni, we were talking about also regulation. Maybe that's an accelerator also for all the companies to pay more attention to that. So in your experience, Maria, the regulation is something that can be that acceleration for...
Well, Amadeus per se is not necessarily in a very regulated environment yet, but I think definitely NIS2 is gonna change the world, and I think it's gonna, at least in Europe, it's gonna affect everybody. Pretty much every company in IT is a service provider is gonna be affected by it. So we'll have to see, but definitely, you know, we provide a lot of services to the airlines, and the airlines are very regulated. So I think they know from the beginning, not only that they have to have all their procedures super written down and exercised and everything. They have to demonstrate also to the authorities that they have all that. And when there is a disruption, then they need to justify. But also they ask Amadeus, and obviously as a provider, and they ask for certifications as well. So I think, yes, it will accelerate, and it's not only the certification for the sake of it. I think it's more important to make sure that this is lived, and that is like security by design or by security measures that are implemented. That's what is important, not having the title there that you put on the wall, right?
That's right. In your experience, Olga?
Well, we have some few regulations, like critical infrastructure laws and all that stuff. But with the 5G and the connected vehicle and all these things that are moving around our sector, we need more regulations. So because we have to interact with all the other companies, and we have to know the rules, and also we have to establish a baseline of controls, of governance, of understanding, in order to provide the services, in order to have it like secure, safely for the people that we are providing it for.
Yeah, that's right, because we're always talking that there is a lot of risk on the supply chain, no?
Yeah.
Because maybe you are making a lot of effort in your company, but then you have providers that can be not at that level, and then, as you say, that baseline is breached.
Yeah.
So the whole third-party risk management now is in fashion, right? And it's because of that, because the supply chain is...
And in your industry, that is so important that everything is really do in the perfect way. So what is your experience, Toni?
It's in pharma industry, of course, it's very regulated sector, but now the regulations are not in a big point of cybersecurity. But it's true that I feel that are changing, because the inspectors and the auditors, when come to your company, ask about it, but I feel that they don't understand. Need to make a check. This is in Spain, but I know that if you're in the same sector in the USA, maybe it's not the same, but this is in Spain. But you can feel that the things are changing. This is good, because when the regulation asks about this kind of points in the audit trail structure of in pharma companies, maybe we can improve faster than now. But it's an old sector. It's true that it's an old sector, and it's not the best the best sector to talk sometimes about these kind of topics.
Well, every industry has its own challenges.
Yes.
So we need to also be aware of that and try to speak to the same languages of our executive and our boards, because if not, they are not going to understand that cybersecurity is a shared responsibility.
Yep.
It's from everyone. So, well, we are almost running out of time. We can be talking the whole morning about this, because we are passionate about this and we have a lot of experience. But I would like each one of you to give one recommendation, one message that you would like our audience keep in their minds out of this table. Maria?
Well, I would say take cybersecurity to the next level, and to me is cyber resilience, and also fully integrated with the business.
That's right. Olga?
It's in the same line. In order to have a chance in front of all the threats, we have to work all together.
Very good.
Good one. Toni?
I like that the point of cybersecurity, it's here, and we don't need to wait to an incident. Please, think in the health of CISOs.
Okay, that's a good one, Toni. That's a good one. Well, I can conclude from this table. I hope you have enjoyed it as much as I did. And always when I talk with any CISO or any executive that has been working in cybersecurity and on IT in general, there are so many challenges we face every day, but what is important is to talk the same language and to understand that we are all on the same table and that we are on the same boat also.
And rowing in the same direction.
Exactly. And sometimes we have those silos in the organization. So the conclusion from this table, I can say that cybersecurity is a shared responsibility, and from the board's members to the last user, everybody has to be a cybersecurity conscious and aware of what we can do. So thank you very much, and well, hope you have enjoyed this table as much as I did. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.